Okay, what I got for you today is a video on the Alfa Romeo. Over the weekend, I worked on the glove box. We had looked at getting a new glove box for about $900, new from Mopar. We looked online on eBay, could not find any that were cream colored. So we decided, um, let's try and glue and fix the broken glove box that was on the Stelvio. And that's what this video is. In the middle, I'll show you a snippet of, we tried to work on the mirror too, and that did not go well. So thank you for joining me today, and let's jump right into it. The glove box on the Alfa Romeo includes the actual glove box door itself and an inner carrier type section that bolts to the inside of the dashboard. And then there's a trim piece at the bottom. All these parts were just temporarily in there since the last time I was playing with it, and so I removed all of them. The glove box hinge was broken in two places, and then the carrier part on the inside, its tab was broken off, and then there's one other little tab inside that was broke off as well too. I went to Walmart and got some JB Weld epoxy. I got the clear stuff. It was 3,900 PSI and sets in 5 minutes. I chose to do the 5-minute setups to make it easier to assemble it. And 3,900 PSI seemed like it would be strong enough. They had one that was like a 4-hour or 6-hour set time, and it was 5,000 PSI, but I think we'll be fine with this. On the back of the main box or carrier, what I'm calling a carrier unit that bolts inside, there is at least 3 or 4 tabs that were completely broken off on the sides, and that would actually like clip in there, and then you would bolt in or screw in the carrier unit in there. And as you can see in the last picture, there's a couple tabs that are existing, one with its factory white clip, which gives it a little bit of tension, and then another tab that was missing its white clip. And so I was just going to have to do without. If I wanted to replace those, I could model them, 3D print them. I could scan and 3D print those and then glue them on with epoxy. But at this time, I didn't decide to do that. And as you'll see, once we get it in there, it actually is a little wonky, but I think it's going to be good enough. But suffice to say, there's probably about 5 or 6 of these clips there, and I did not replace those clips or fix them or create new ones 3D printing wise. The glove box itself has a few broken parts on it. There's a tab here, and then all of the hinge parts at the bottom broke off along there. Nothing broken on this side. And then on the actual box itself that goes into the car, there's a tab broken there, a tab broken there. This one's missing its clip, and then this is the only one that's intact with its white clip. I'm going to leave those for now, and I might replicate this, but at a later date, if these tabs don't work, when I slide this back in, I can 3D print new tabs and bond them there, but I'm going to hold off on that. So this part here is a little stop. We're going to glue that on there. And then we've got the hinge parts. It looks like between the two, we've got the full length, and then I've got the metal rod that will go in there. Oh, and then this piece actually does go on the other part, so we do have something on the other part to do. This piece here broke off of the bottom down here somewhere. Yeah, right there. So we're going to hopefully be able to fit that back on there. Somehow magically bond that back onto there. All right, let's mix up the JB Weld and get rolling. Okay, what I've got in this time-lapse video or quick video is I cleaned off, I used some degreaser to clean off both parts, the part that broke off and the main box there. And then I took the epoxy and you twist off this cool little cap and you squeeze out a little bit just to get it all evened up. And then you squeeze out enough epoxy, and there's 2 chambers in there, and then you mix those together for about a minute. And once that's all mixed and everything, then you can apply it to the broken part. You can apply it to the main box that you're attaching it to. And because it's 5-minute setup, I did hold it in place a little bit until it stiffened up and I was happy with it. And then once I was done holding it, I was able to set it aside and then jump on to the other parts and pieces. And it goes without saying I was wearing gloves just because you do not want to get epoxy on your hands. After I glued the one part on the main box, I glued the other 2 or 3 parts onto the glove box itself, as you can see in this photo, just taking my time to let it kind of set in between and propping it up so that things weren't flopping over. And then I let that pretty much dry after the first day and jumped over to working on the mirror. All right, I'm going to fix the turn signal today, or at least try to. I need to pop off this top here. Let's say a little prayer that I don't break this or the mirror, and I have to go try and find a new mirror because I really don't want to do that. What I got was this replacement turn signal on eBay, and it's from Italy, so you know that's kind of cool. And I'm going to put it in there hopefully. First thing I'm going to do, I found a video on YouTube. Like anything, I'm not going to necessarily repeat the video. I'll put a link down below, but the dude shows how you take this cap off. He was wrapping it or something like that. But I'm just gonna hopefully get mine off. There is some adhesive along here, so I'm gonna heat it up with a hair dryer because I don't have one of those fancy little heater torches like all you kids got. So I'm gonna heat that up and hopefully break that adhesive here, and then there's some other clips and stuff like that, but we're just gonna see how it goes, and hopefully I don't break it. Put some tape on here, I guess, to protect this as well too. Bloody hell. Oh, it's off. I don't know. I guess I broke maybe one tab there, one tab there. Oh well, it's off now. We got our broken thing there. All right, let's see what we got. I got a nut, a bolt there. A 2 there, 1 there. 2 down low. I don't know how I'm going to get those out. We had to remove the whole mirror. How does the whole mirror come out? So the mirror thing didn't work out. You can't access, there's no exposed fasteners, so I wasn't able to remove it. I looked online, I put the call out on social media and didn't get much of any response. I did find someone turned me on to a video on YouTube of some Italian guy removing his Stelvio mirror, taking it apart, and he literally just pulls the glass out, which I tried with all my might and it couldn't happen, but I'm gonna go back in and try it again. Alternatives where I call the dealer and the guy's like, I've never done that before. It's a non-serviceable part. And I find that hard to believe that a mirror with that many components is not serviceable. But, you know, we're going to take it apart and see. Or I could buy a whole new mirror on eBay for $300 or $400. But before I do that, I might as well destroy our mirror trying to take it apart and get that turn signal changed. So stay tuned. Now back to the glove box. We'll do that next. The epoxy's dried on the glove box. I'm going to show you in a minute how we're going to wrap that up, and we're going to reinforce that a little bit, and then we'll install it later. The mirror, I got the top cap off, and then from there couldn't figure out how to disassemble the mirror any further on the Stelvio, and so I reassembled the top cap back on there. At one point I had pulled the glass, trying to get the glass to pop off, and that wasn't working. We still got the turn signal, but don't know how to install it, so that was a bust, but I'm not defeated. we can buy a new mirror, which I'm trying not to do. All right, so let's finish up the glove box. I'm going to reinforce it with some paper clips, and I'll show you that. The glue is dry, the epoxy's dried on this. I'm going to reinforce it with these paper clips here a little bit to make it rigid. Now this part doesn't move or flex, so I think I could still add a paper clip to it though, I think. All right, so that paper clip is going to be embedded in there. You can see I got it in there, and we're going to let that dry, and that should reinforce that corner a little bit more too. Now to this one. Once the glove box hinge was epoxied and dried, I did reassembly. There's a dampener rod and gear that go in first. That gear goes into a little pocket, and then the dampener rod goes over the top of that. And what that allows is the door to open and close without slamming. It's kind of like in a luxury car type of way. Just dampens that. And the end of the rod gets pinned to the actual the glove box, the main body of it, and then you can see the part where the gear was at, that was part of the door itself, and that's how when you open and close it, it goes in and out. And it's just a little plastic pin that you clip into there, and there you can see it in place. It's got the little yellow dot on it. And then when you slide the entire glove box assembly into the car, there's a couple clips, two on the left side that you can see. One has its little white fastener on it, the other one's missing its little white fastener. And then the other clips on the back are completely broken off. And so that helps clip it into place. There you can see the stopper I glued back on with epoxy. And then that clip is missing as well. So all of those clips kind of click into place in addition to the screws to secure it. To attach the door to the actual glove box housing, there's a metal rod that you slide through all the holes, and that aligns everything up, and you can see that slides in really easy. and there's no other fasteners needed for the glove box assembly. Getting back to those broken clips, you'll see when I put it in there, the glove box sticks out a little bit, and ironically, it's the two clips on the left that seem like they need to push in a little bit further, but you know, I'm not sure what's going on there. And then here I'm just showing how the glove box works. You pull the lever, two little side latches unlatch, and then we've got a working glove box, which saves us, you know, anywhere from $400 to $900, $900 new from Mopar, and then $400 if I would have been able to find a cream one on eBay, which I was not able to find at all. I reinstalled the glove box in the car. There's 3 screws at the top. I'm pointing those out there, and several screws in the bottom. And then when I figured out once I had it all assembled, the light wasn't going on. So I removed the light inside the glove box. I noticed that the little LED circuit board was loose and falling out. And so I just tightened up those electrical connections and put it all back together. And then clicked that back into the glove box and reattached the wires. And then I slid everything into there. Screwed, there's 2 fasteners down at the bottom. There's videos for this, or it's pretty easy to figure out. And then there's a trim plate at the bottom that I reconnected the wires, the puddle lights for that. And then those have 5 or 6 screws to screw up. And then there's the completed image of it. And you can see how the glove box doesn't completely align nice. The perimeter aligns, it's just not like inset enough. But that's as good as I can get it for right now, and I'm not even sure if it's those plastic clips or not. That concludes our video for today. So you got to see the glove box get repaired and replaced into the car. We did not make any progress on the mirror, but we did learn how to fix it, so we're going to try that in a future video. If you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up. I really would appreciate it, and I would love it if you subscribed as well. That really helps me out a lot. And I enjoy making these videos for you. Look forward to seeing you guys soon. Be good to each other. Thank you.